Hey guys, I am live and I'm actually doing both YouTube live and Periscope live at the same time. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes and see if we get some people to join us. So, man, my lighting is really weird in here though, isn't it? God, I gotta figure this out really fast. I love this phone. It's 9 o'clock. I'm sure everybody's got much better things to do than this, but hey, it is what it is. Let's turn this down. See? We're getting this stuff set up. I'm sure I can edit this out later, right? Zero. What is this? Training day. How exciting. What's going on up there? Hi, Periscopers. Wait a few more minutes. I'm trying to do this on YouTube too, but it's not really working all that well. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to jump over and use this camera, Periscope. Hey, what's up, viewer? Welcome. 9 o'clock. And everybody just jumped on all at once. So exciting. We've got my Periscope people over here too. What's up, Anderson? Say hi to yourselves. Oh, there it is. It's weird, isn't it? I got my YouTube live broadcast going on at the same time. I got my Periscope going on right here. You guys that didn't see that. And I've got my other phone that I'm ready to show you guys how I do flexible dieting, which in my opinion is not all that hard. In fact, I think it makes nutrition, it makes getting results in the gym a lot more fun when you actually know what's going on, and then you don't have to rely on somebody else to tell you all the time, eat this, don't eat that. So basically it starts with you calculating your macronutrient targets. Now, I want to kind of get nerdy with it a little bit and tell you a little bit about how you, like, what does that even mean? What are macronutrients? Basically, in a nutshell, to make this as not nerdy, but nerdy as possible, all the calories that you eat on a daily basis are broken down into a couple of different categories. And the majority of those are protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Proteins, if you weigh them out, like if I got a chicken breast or whatever, and I go weigh that out on a scale, then the scale alone is going to tell me, okay, this chicken breast is, let's say, I don't know, like 10 grams or whatever it is. I'm just making up a number here. So protein is, for 10 grams of protein, you have 10 times 4, so that would be 40 grams of protein in that, whatever it is that you're eating. So everything that you consume on a daily basis can be broken down into proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. The way that you track your calories on a daily basis can help you be flexible with the foods that you're eating. Theoretically speaking, and this works in practice as well, it doesn't matter what foods you eat and where those calories come from, as long as you're hitting your daily targets. So what we're going to do is kind of go through how I would calculate my macronutrient targets. And I will say this kind of as a disclaimer, and some people would argue with me on this. It's a science, and our bodies are meant to be machines. They're not computers. You can't insert the exact same amount of calories into your body every single day and burn the exact same amount of calories every single day. That's going to vary. I mean, within a few calories on the burn side and on the consume side. So don't get too stressed out. What we're trying to do is just put a set of guidelines in front of you that you can start to follow and consistently following those guidelines is going to yield results for you and allow you to have some of the foods that you love. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? You know, in a time, if I'm really being strict, I might not have cookies or cakes or pancakes or things like that, but I can still lose weight and enjoy those things if I'm calculating my calories every day and then adding them into my targets. So let's just kind of easily talk about this. Okay, there's a couple ways that you can do this. My favorite way to do it is going to a website called IIFYM.com. So I want you to grab your phone, or if you're taking notes tonight, I want you to grab your notepad and write this down. IIFYM.com. And that is going to be the website that we're going to use to track or not track, but to calculate your nutrients. So we're going to go there right now. I've actually got it pulled up here on my computer, but I'm going to go to the website on my phone so you can kind of see what's going on. There's IIFYM.com. There's for you Periscopers. So you go to that page. If you're on that page right now, if you're on that page, if you're on Periscope, shoot me some hearts right now so I know that you are there. I want to see it. Yes, that's right. Okay. So if you go to calculators, that drop-down menu will come and it'll say IIFYM calculators. See that at the top? IIFYM calculators. If you can read that at all, it's really tiny. I want you to hit that one, IIFYM calculator. IIFYM says if it fits you macros. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? I don't know about you. I think this is so exciting. Would it be better if I took my shirt off to do this? So everyone wants to see, right? And then you can go through the categories. So you put, you know, you go through, enter your gender, your age, your height and weight. For the formula, I recommend the total body weight formula, and then choose your activity levels. How would you describe your normal daily activities? Sedentary. Do you have a desk job? Do you have an office job? Choose sedentary. Light activity. Maybe you're working back and forth. You know, I would consider what I do light activity. You know, I'm working around, I'm going from the truck, I'm going to my office, I'm going back to the truck, I'm going to visit homes, all that kind of stuff. So that would be lightly activity. Active is that you're basically out and about all day long. Very active would be like you are in construction or work in a shop or something like that. So how many days a week how many times per week do you exercise? For me, I'm like 6-7 times per week, so I would put that in there. And then how many minutes per day do you exercise, cardio and weights combined? Then, you know, I would put basically, I don't go crazy, so I only work out about 30 or 40 minutes a day. And on a long day, maybe 40, 45 minutes. You know, never more than 45 minutes or an hour. I just get so bored. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So you calculate the calories after that, and how intense is your exercise? Light, moderate, difficult, or intense. Be as conservative as possible whenever you're calculating these, because I would rather, for most of you that are on here right now, you're going to be trying to lose weight. My guess is that you're trying to lose body fat. That's really the majority of people out there when they diet. That's what they're trying to do. So then you can pick your goals and your intensity. For fat, you want to do fat loss, do you want to maintain, do you want to bulk, or do you want to do something else? I recommend sticking to what they have plugged in here. And for me, most of you, like I said, are going to do fat loss. So if you look at your fat loss targets, it'll tell you exactly how many calories you need in a day. And if you go down to the bottom, it will go ahead and choose your calorie targets based on proteins, fats, and carbs. It calculates your protein first, your fats second, and of the remaining calories. So your proteins plus fats of your remaining calories during the day based on the previous line, it'll show you how many carbs that you get. And I think for most of us, that's going to make you extremely happy. So so I basically did that on my own. I did it on IIFYM.com, and my targets were, let's see, for me, I'm 6'1", I'm 33 years old, I'm about 210 pounds. So if I want to lose fat at an aggressive rate, it's about 2,000, 2,100 calories a day. And that's pretty close. Typically, I would be about, if I wanted to get crazy, and that's usually what I'll do, is I'll do it pretty intense for a couple of weeks. So I'm usually about, 2,000, 2,300 calories. Now on the bulking side, they have me at 2,800. Typically, if I'm bulking, I'm like somewhere between 3,000 and 3,300, just depending on what's going on. And that's an increased carb load, just because I want to get the most possible muscle recovery as possible. So anyways, so at the bottom there, it gives me my carbs, my proteins, and my fats. 150 grams of carbs, 168 grams of protein, and 84 grams of fat, according to the IIFYM site. So what would you do with those numbers? And that's the question, okay? That's all well and good. What the heck does that even mean? So you take those targets, and if you really want to do this the right way, then you go get myfitnesspal.com. And my phone is going crazy right now. So MyFitnessPal, really cool app. I'm sure that everybody that's ever tried to do a diet ever in their life has used MFP before. So you go ahead and get into your app, and in the app you can choose your macronutrient targets. I'm not sure if you do it from the app anymore, but you can definitely do it online where you can go change your macronutrient targets. So you take the numbers from this website, you go plug them into your numbers in MyFitnessPal. Sorry, hold on, I think I lost you guys. And you'll enter your foods on a daily basis, and the app will automatically calculate how many calories from each one of those targets that you've already consumed and how many you have left in the day. Now, let's go like kind of all the way back to the beginning. You probably ask yourself like, well, how's this different from anything else? I mean, it just sounds like a diet to me, and that's true. It is a diet. However, the way it's different is this. Most of the time, like you say bodybuilders, all they eat is chicken and rice and green leafy vegetables and all that kind of stuff, which is very true. So why is it that they do it that way? What's the difference? Well, basically, when you look at a bodybuilder, they're looking at consistency. So flexible dieting is basically a backwards way to look at your diet. So you're consuming the food and then calculating what you have left based on what you've already consumed. A bodybuilder still is going to use the same targets that you would be calculating. However, they want to plan ahead their meals and know what their targets are before they consume them. Okay, so if they wanted to, I mean, they wouldn't because it's unnecessary, but they might, if they wanted to have a cookie, they would be building that into their diet, and they would plan ahead to make sure that their calories, accounted for that. So they're planning ahead versus, waiting till at the end of the day, which is why I say if you want the flexibility to be flexible in your diet, then you have to get nerdy with this. The biggest mistakes that you can make when you're flexible dieting is that you don't actually take the time to calculate the macronutrients for the item that you consume. That's the other thing I think that makes it simpler, why people typically choose like rice and chicken, is because chicken is pretty much, it has a little bit of fat, but it's pretty much just a protein source. So when you're calculating, that's protein. Your rice is pretty much just a carb, that's a carb. And so it's easy to calculate your targets whenever your consumption, whenever you are working with really basic foods. Now take a cookie, because that's my favorite thing to think about anyway. Take a cookie, for example. What is a cookie made out of? A cookie is made out of sugar, flour, butter, and more sugar. So how do you know how much of each of those ingredients are in the item that you consume, especially if it's a homemade item? It may change in the size, it may change in the consumption, or the composition of ingredients. If you're good about it, you can go grab the numbers off of an Oreo pack or whatever and enter those in. Or like I said, if you're using MyFitnessPal, it's already going to have all that data already in there. So you just eat the item, you put it in MyFitnessPal, and it tells you what your targets are left during the day. So reasons I like flexible dieting: you can eat foods that you really love and still stay within your calorie ranges for each of the targets and still get results. That, who doesn't love that about flexible dieting? That in and of itself is the definition of flexible dieting. You can enjoy the things that you've always loved. What I don't like about flexible dieting, like I said this before, is a lot of times you can miscalculate the number of calories for each one of your targets that you're consuming. And let's say that your calorie target is 2,000 calories a day. If you are consuming even 200 calories more than your target during the day, and one cookie is like 220 calories, one cookie. So if you miss your target by 200, that's basically a 10% difference in your consumption. Do you really think that you're going to get the results that you want by missing your diet by 10%? Like, that's, for me, some people say, well, that doesn't seem like very much at all. But if you're consistently having 200 calories more a day, and let's say it's probably to be honest with you, it's probably way more than 200 calories a day that you're doing. You're not going to be seeing the results that you want. So let's get honest with it. Get honest with yourself, get honest with your consumption. And again, like, I'm a 6'1", 210-pound guy, and my weight loss targets are 2,000 calories in an entire day. If you are going and saying, hey, I'm flexible dieting, I can go ahead and, I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant tonight, and I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm going to go to Gordo's, and I'm going to go get a deep fried donut covered with chicken strips and honey butter. Doesn't that sound awesome? Because I think it sounds pretty awesome. If you go ahead and calculate, good luck, number one, going to a restaurant and calculating exactly the macronutrient. I mean, you can guess. You got chicken, you got breading, you got oils. A chicken tender is typically a chicken tender, no matter how you slice it. A donut the size of your head is typically going to be that many calories, probably 500, 600 calories. So that meal alone could probably be 1,300 to 1,500 or more calories. And are you willing to do that, and only have 500 calories left in the day to eat? Now, again, the other way I look about flexible dieting, and people will disagree with me on this, I know flexible dieters that eat pretty much anything that they want on a regular basis. I personally don't like to consume a lot of sugar. It doesn't matter how many calories, I can eat 1,000, 1,500 calories a day. If I eat all sugar and all fats, I'm going to feel terrible. So for me, it's about how I feel and how my body functions. And so that's why typically for me, I will get pretty close to my macronutrient ratios. I don't nerdify it all that much unless I know that I'm going to be fudging on my diet, because on a daily basis, I know the foods that I eat and how they fit within my ratios because I eat clean. I'll eat good sources of protein, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners, typically no dairy, typically no wheat-based products, and they're basically some grains, fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, a lot of vegetarian protein, organic stuff, eggs. I just keep it as basic and simple as possible. So it's kind of emerging between the both. But I still, if I'm not hesitating to go ahead and enjoy some of the same foods that I love. So that's why, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing this, you can do a really good job. You can lose all the weight that you want, but you have to kind of merge still eating healthy foods for body performance in with tracking your calorie intake through MyFitnessPal or something else. Now, it has worked for me. I mean, I should have said that before. I've been following nutritional regimens like this, strict and not so strict, over the last 3 years, basically, and have gained 20 pounds of lean mass and feel better than I ever have. My body's functioning great. I pretty much eat, like right at this moment, I'm probably 80% vegetarian in my protein sources, and also probably about 20% still kind of fudgy foods. When you get down to it, I'll still have some chocolate. I'll still have a meal here and there that I'm definitely not proud of, but I still see results in the gym. And that's what, for me, is what at the end of the day matters. Now, when I want to get super serious about it, start decreasing my body fat under 10%, which is going to happen here starting in the beginning of the year, then yes, I will be on this like a hawk. So I'll be tracking every calorie very closely, be eating very clean. And still, if I do have a cheat day every once in a while, I'll use MyFitnessPal, I'll track my macronutrients, and I'll make sure I stay within my targets so I don't lose my results, basically. So that's basically that. Now, I will say this, typically I don't, of course, make a big deal about it, but what has helped me a lot, honestly, is using the 21-day fixed nutrition program. I like the workouts, but for me, having the containers available has really helped me cut some of the guesswork out of my meal prep. So, you can calculate those calories, but with the containers, for me, like these, the protein, using the protein and using the carb, when I know I have 6 of these a day, that help me get close to my protein consumption ratios. And then I get 4 of the yellow, which is starchy carbs. If I can pretty much nail these, then I will see results from a weight loss standpoint. And then the rest of them, like fruits and vegetables, I just eat pretty much as I want. Because at the end of the day, hitting my proteins and hitting just enough of the starchy carbohydrates are what my body type responds to the best when losing fat. And your body type might change a little bit, but like I said, for me, this works really, really well. So anyways, that's pretty much all I have about it. It's like 20 minutes. I don't know if that's boring or informative or anything like that, but I hope that it helps. I really do. I mean, if you have questions about it, of course, you can always ask me. I'm here to, help you as much as I possibly can, help you calculate your calorie targets. And I think it's pretty basic, though. I mean, if you need any help with it, just shoot me an email, knight.kevin@gmail.com. See you guys on YouTube. See you on Periscope.